I think anything about income and expenditure statement or account. I know that one or statement. I know that one is for non-profit. It's being used for non-profit entities. Then again, I don't know if you can advise us. You know, some of these businesses, they are small. Many are big though, that they can use all what you have told us, the double entry system and what have you. But some of us that have small ones, we want to track all those little expenses. What type of, probably we are not into the system whereby we have our computer, we have software, but we want to go into manual, at least to document what are the books that you can recommend to buy, so that as you are spending, put it down. As you understand what I'm saying?
Number two. Where is number two?
So, number one, I have two questions. Number one, you mentioned accounting software, and let me know if you could recommend a couple of softwares we can use. Then the second question I have is, during the beginning section, you mentioned tracking credit and using vouchers to track credit, but you didn't really explain or go into how to use such vouchers to track credit. So I just wanted to ask if you can expand on that.
Okay. So, in order to save time, I appreciate the first 4 lines. Yes, please go out this way. So the space is not there, so I can have the notes. You take, so that make it below the 5%. So 1, 2, 3. Number 3.
Thank you very much, principal presenter. I want you to speak on profitability and turnover. A lot of us, we oftentimes go and sell at a lower price and thinking that we are selling more, without relating it to the profitability of the business. So you see that we have so many people, they tell you they make so much sales, but at the end they are still struggling. And it's a problem for us. Some people thinking they are smart normally spoil the market by selling low. And at the end of the day, they spoil the market and they themselves are also struggling. So that I like to emphasize the importance of profitability, so that they don't think that selling low is usually the best.
Number 4.
On the bookkeeping, we have all heard what you say. But actually, any fluctuation of this naira and the dollar, how do we manage it? Because as we say the futures now, we now buy, maybe as we buy now, in the next 1 hour, after we have sold what we bought, in the next 1 hour, maybe as we are going back here to buy another one, the money will double. How now do we manage it?
Number 5.
Thank you. I want to appreciate the commentator for what you have taught us. I think mine just a comment. We're talking about costing and gave us very good teaching. What most of us are passing through is that, how do you know the cost of a bag? Most people don't. We have a kg, say 3,007 or 3,001. How many bags do you have in a kg? You factor it. You pack a bag, factor it. Factor your light, factor NEPA, factor protection, your operator, factor all. What do you have? That is what is your cost. But most times you just feel that you have 100 bags on ground, you go and sell. What is the cost of a bag? Most people don't know. Your 1 kg, how many bags will it give you? You don't know. Go back today, put your roll, put the 15 kg, don't sell, produce all. Calculate it. You see how many bags you have. Factor your cost on it. You see how much a bag costs you. Don't just be producing and be packing and be selling. You can never know the cost. Sit down. Just take the 14 kg or just 10 kg. Put it. Don't sell. Produce all. Calculate it. Count it. You see how many bags you're going to have. You see leakages, damages. Then you see exactly what you're going to talk about. Pack a bag is 11,000 naira. 11 naira. For one, 11 naira. Factor all of them. And then you see, you are making a loss. We don't need our brother here to tell us what we are supposed to do. He has given us exactly what to do. But you can go home and sleep over it, produce as you like, and sell the way you like. You can be rest assured that you go backward. Thank you.
Thank you so much. My questions have been asked. I just want to ask whether we have a copy of this. But they've asked all the questions I wanted to ask.
Number 7. No more. Number 7.
Yes, the last. Good day, everyone. Mine is just a contribution. Thank you for the teaching, but I think it's more of a theory than practical. And in this business, it has to do with practical of what you are doing. Now, when we are talking about production of pure water or sachet water, we need to go back to the basics. There are some things that we need to understand. Now, when you buy from where my brother there started, when you buy a nylon roll, maybe it's 40 kg, you need to know what that 40 kg is giving you. I'm sorry to say, most of us, when we buy nylon roll, we don't even have a kg and a weight to weigh it in your own factory to know what they actually gave you, if it's going to complement what you are expecting. And another thing is that the micron. Most of us, we just say there's no business, there's no gain in this business, but there are some things we need to understand. The micron that they use, most people that sell the nylon rolls, they will not, sometimes there was a time they used 24 micron to produce for me. How do you know it when you don't have record of your daily production? On a daily basis, sorry, I may take time, please. On a daily basis, you need to know, what the cost you implement the nylon roll, how many bags does it give you from each kg. Now, after that, you need to know how much are you paying your operator on a weekly basis. This is the total bag the operator produces in a week. If it's 4,000 bags, you make the calculation. This is what I'm paying. This is the number that the driver took out, the first driver, the second driver. How many extra do you give to each driver? How many do you sell in the factory? You need to calculate all this. Then, on a daily basis, you need to have a book that you use for your income and expenditure. It is a must. If you are buying fuel for the driver, or the driver calling my tire has issue on the road, you need to have a book on a daily. That is what I do in my own factory. Daily expenses and daily income. Daily expenses and daily income. Then at the end of the month, we calculate the total sales, the total income, and check, am I still on point? God will help us. So there are some things that we need to put into it, not to be telling us all this drama. Thank you, sir, but we need more practical.
Thank you. Let me first, before the trainer says something. Yes, I understand that we need practical. But without theory, you can't do practical. Without theory, you must know the work first. And everything you've mentioned, he has said it. He has said you must establish your cost. You must know your cost and you must know your unit price, your unit cost. So that's what he has said. So you must determine what your cost is. If you don't know your cost, you must cost your raw material. And he said, he said you must cost your sales must be determinant of your cost, the cost of your raw material. But let me
on not earning anything by income and expenditure. The reason you didn't hear about income and expenditure, you also gave the answer. Because income and expenditure accounts are prepared for NGOs. And the kind of business you do is not an NGO. You are into a manufacturing and processing business. However, because we know that some are small businesses, and that is why the focus is on small businesses. That is why we accommodate it. But you know, as an expert, I need to let you know that this is the way it is. If you are just focusing on income and expenditure, there's going to be an issue with your cost. How do you determine your cost? Because income and expenditure will not show you your cost. That's why we went through this route we have gone through. And for the benefit of everybody here, the income and expenditure account is the same thing that that we all know it as profit and loss account. The only thing is the name is different based on the industry you are using it for. It's income and expenditure when you are using it for NGO. But when you come to this kind of business we are doing, it is profit or loss because you are more interested in the profit and not in your income. Now, the other aspect of it are the books that you ask me to, that you would like, want me to recommend. You know, we said you need to determine whether you want to do single entry or double entry. Now, it's very important that I continue to emphasize the need for us to do the double entry. But for those who want to use the single entry, these are the books I will recommend for you. You need to have an income book, just like our sister that spoke last said. You need to have your income book, you need to have an expenditure book, you need to have your material costing book. In the material costing book, you also need to determine the prices of the goods when they come, because that my brother there who asked the 6th question or the 5th question has already said everything. You need to go back home today. What we have just done today is to whet your appetite. We have just whet your appetite that these are the requirements of making profit. And this is the difference between making money and making profit. This is the difference between selling at a cost and selling at a price. You have just whet your appetite. You are the experts in the business. So we want to encourage you that after today, after this class, go back to the factory, go back to your production room and ask basic questions about the cost of items. Just like our sister there said, the roll that you are using, is there a scale to measure that when they say 1 kg to you, it is 1 kg? Because if it is not 1 kg, that means you will not get 36 bags that you're supposed to get. The number of bags, I think it's 36. I'm not an expert in water items, but I think it's 37. Okay, somebody has corrected me. So if it's not 1 kg, you will not get it. So you need to go back and start asking this kind of questions if you have not been doing it. Then the next question is about recommending accounting software. I would like to, the most popular one I know is the QuickBooks. QuickBooks is everywhere. You can just go online, you will see it there. But of course, you need an accountant to guide you through. So I don't know how we are going to do it because I'm not supposed to market myself here. But you can just see me after the class, we can discuss about it. Then using vouchers to track creditors. I'm not sure I said something like that because there's no way you can use vouchers to track creditors. so I'm not sure I said something like that. Maybe you didn't hear me very well. But what I said is that we can use vouchers to track expenditure. Every money that is being spent, let somebody sign for it. Everybody who wants to take money, let there be authorization, let there be approval. If there is no authorization and there is no approval, we will lose track of the money we are releasing into the business. Just like the coordinator, the secretary mentioned about us spending our personal money to run the business. That's what we will end up doing. They will come, money for this, you dip your hand in your pocket, you give them. Money for this, you dip your hand in your pocket. They go out, they have not finished, they have not got their sales proceeds. They say something happened to the car. You say take money from that, use it to repair the car. There must be a voucher. Even when they are going out, let them go with the voucher. So that when they incur an expense outside and they need to spend money from your sales proceeds, after you have approved that they should spend it on the phone, they should write it in the voucher. Then when they come back, you approve it. They should not spend money without your written approval. I will give an example. Many years ago, I was an auditor in a big manufacturing company. They were manufacturing soft drinks. They are still in existence today in Lagos. They are predominantly in Lagos. And there was this practice by the owners of the company whereby when they want money for their personal use, they will just pick a paper, you know, this small 4-corner paper, and just write factory expenses, 10,000 naira. They send it to the factory, they will pay 10,000 naira for them. Do you know the same accountant that was supposed to give them 10,000 naira started writing his own factory expenses 10,000. So when director take, accountant will take. When director take, accountant will take. But when there is a process that despite all these things, send the paper back to me so that I will approve. But we know the one you took and the one you did not pay. We know the one you told them to spend and the one you did not ask them to spend. If not, I tell you, the same way you take 10,000 in your pocket and at the end of the day you start scratching your head, how did I spend it? By the time you say spend this one, spend that one, spend this, at the end of the week, you will not remember everything. You understand? Company A sells 100 bags. Company B sells 80 bags. But because company B is more efficient, their cost of producing this 80 bags, the cost per bag. So what is basic cost per bag now for those who do their costing? Somebody that asked the question there. Somebody who asked the question number 5. What's the cost of a bag now?
Averagely about 200 naira.
About 200 naira.
Right now, and materials is 3,700.
Okay. So is it included in this 200 naira? Yeah. Total cost of the bag. Yes. Including all your other costs that we have spoken. No, including every other cost that we have spoken about.
Let's say the cost. The actual cost should be
because you need to put all this other cost. It's about 270 good because there are some other costs we have factored in it good. So for the person that is selling 100 bags, he is looking at his own cost. Oh, my cost of production is 170 naira per bag. So as far as he's concerned, it's 17,000 naira that is his cost of production. Why the one that is selling at 80 bags has taken into consideration every other cost, and he knows that his own cost is 240 naira. So it's 240 times 80. If I let me use the same 100 bags for both of them. So they both sold at 30,000. But this other guy now, because of 240, he sold his own 240 at 24,000 cost. And he has a profit of 6,000 naira. The person that sold, that put all his costs, he has looked at the cost of everything, including the factory rent, including the labor, including everything. His total cost 240. He sold 100 bags and the cost is 24,000. While the other person just looked at the basic cost of material and he thinks that his own cost is 170. So he thinks his profit is 13,000. But at the end of the day, you will discover that this person that thinks his cost is 17,000 to be willing to reduce price when he goes out to sell. After all, I'm making a profit of 13,000. I can afford to reduce some things. If they say, if one customer is saying, abeg, give me at this price, let me reduce it. So that's the difference between turnover and profitability. If you understand the principles of this costing we are talking about, then you appreciate the reason why you must factor every single component. If you factor every single component, then you will know your true cost, and you will know at what point that your company is still existing, and at what point that your company is on life machine.